Welcome back to the nationally syndicated Price of Business show. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Do want to mention our new series we've got going. It's called Shark Tank Ready. It features Matt Higgins, who you know as a guest shark, a repeated guest shark on Shark Tank, and myself. And it's a new series. He's going to be coming on doing reoccurring answers to people's questions about how to be Shark Tank ready. It's a fun series. Make sure you check it out over at priceofbusiness.com. And with that same vein, one of my favorite people to talk to about money is my guest this segment. We on the Price of Business show call him the Money Man here on the Price of Business program. And he helps individuals and businesses of all types and sizes really achieve their goals. Real quickly, Chris, a little bit about you and your business as well as your best website.
Well, I'm a coach's kid. Grew up playing sports. My dad coached me from the time that I was walking all the way through high school. Had plans to go play in college. That ended up not happening. I started my first business in college. Broke my back in a car accident, so I hadn't been able to dunk a basketball since then. I started doing well with some investments. Had a mentor that I picked up, and I started learning from him more so than college professors. And I went from being, the typical college student living on ramen noodles and as cheap as you possibly can. And, I did the whole get a whole bunch of credit card debt thing, went through that. And the short version of the story, they can read more about it on my website, chriskidd.com, but I became a millionaire by the time I was 24. So there is a way out.
And that's really our focus today. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I teach people what I learned.
Yeah. No, and you're good at it, and it's really fun that we get to do it with this national audience whenever you're on as a frequent guest. Let's talk a little bit about the fact that it seems very dire for a lot of Americans when it comes to the economy. They worry about their investments. They're seeing their savings devoured by inflation. And now what we're seeing is the Fed, after the beginning of the year, a month ago, we're still at the beginning of the year, a month ago saying, things are looking up, we're going to look at smaller increases. Now they're saying, well, we're not so sure. And so, this is a real hedge your bets economy. And in those kind of economies, scammers pop up all over the place. And you've talked about, you and I have talked about this type of thing before. What do you do? What kind of things should you be looking for? Because I know you agree, we both agree, you should be looking for unique opportunities in times like this because people make money in every type of economy. But you don't want to be scammed in these environments. So talk about some of the red flags and what are the things people should be looking for when it comes to this. And why don't you set the stage for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe heavily in putting money to work and having it work for you. In fact, part of my story was at one point when I was about 19 or 20 years old, I decided I would not spend a dollar that did not come back to me in the future somehow. So I was very adamantly looking for investments. And like I said, I did very well. I came across some that fortunately I had somebody, I guess kind of like I am to other people now, but I had somebody at the time that I could go to that said, hey, this might not be such a good idea. I know it looks great and they're promising you all this, but you might steer away from this. And of course, hindsight's 20/20, but you don't always know at the time. And, you might have to wait for a few months or a few years for it to play out and see how bad it actually would have been. But there are so many things that are out there that people come up with because everybody wants to learn how to put their money to work. We don't want to just sitting around doing nothing. So we're out there actively looking for what kind of returns can I get. But one kind of rule of thumb is if it looks too good to be true, like not just on a small scale, like, oh, hey, this is more than I'm, normally if I'm used to making a single digit return and I can make a double digit return, that's not necessarily too good to be true. But if somebody says, let's say, okay, you're going to double your money every 30 days, just run. Like that's BS. That's a big red flag right there.
Yeah, 1,200%, 1,200% returns. That's a problem. You're either criminal.
I know
you're either criminal or you are.
Go ahead.
You're either. Thanks. You're either criminal or you're getting scammed. Either you're a criminal or you're getting scammed. So you don't want to be either one of those.
Yeah, and there's some that the people pitching it to you don't know that they're in the middle of a scam. But yeah, the big time returns like that are very short term. I can't tell you how often I have people come up to me. In fact, I had a buddy at the gym ask me the other day about something that he wanted me to look at that sounded, it was kind of right up along these lines. I said, hey, my meter's going off. I've got the alarm going, and there's flags all over the place on this deal because this is not something that's sustainable. I teach people different strategies to amplify their returns and to make more with less, and to use leverage in a good way, but also how to protect themselves while they're doing it. But I can show you how you can make a return like that, but at the same time, if that's what you're going for, it's more likely that you're going to strike out than hit a home run. And Mike Tyson's a great example that I use a lot. He admits he blew $400 million, and one would say, how can somebody possibly even do that? That's more money than you could spend $4 million a year and you'd never run out. So how do you blow $4 million? Well, he wasn't just being stupid buying a bunch of dumb stuff with his money. He was giving it to people who were supposed to be good money managers and investment guys who knew what they were doing, and putting it somewhere to go work. But he didn't know a thing about what questions to ask or how to look at things and evaluate anything. He just had to trust this other person. And I'm very, very against people just giving their money to somebody or only asking or asking what is the answer, where do I put this? That's very dangerous. And like my clients, I have a lot of busy clients. I got people who they don't necessarily have time to do all of their homework and follow everything and really dig into stuff, but they can at least get the cliff notes. And if they know the right questions to ask, I could go into, let's say, a financial advisor or broker's office right now, sit down with them, and I will only use them if they'll bring me in ideas. I can look at what they put in front of me, and I know enough to be able to evaluate it, whether it's a good deal or not. Most people, though, they'll go in, they ask, where should I put my money? Here, you do what you think's right with it, and then you end up with guys like Bernie Madoff that, hey, your money's gone, surprise. So that happens quite often.
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. And Madoff, was not discriminating. He was screwing friends. I mean, it's incredible how far-reaching Madoff got. It was so ruinous. It was unbelievable. And so, generally speaking, and their philosophy is very interesting to see an interview with like someone like the late Bernie Madoff. He'll talk about the fact that they kind of got what they deserved because they were greedy themselves. And what they mean by that is that if you participate in something too good to be true, and in his opinion it was pretty obvious, then you're greedy and you are foolish and you deserve to be scammed. And I'm not going to say that's true, but because no one deserves that, right? But there is wisdom in that, isn't there?
Oh yeah, and that's a very big problem nowadays. It's because everybody wants to shoot for the moon, but and they feel like their deal is the one that's really going to pay off. But I guess let's talk about some of those flags. One big red flag is There's been a handful of these things that have gone around. I haven't heard of any just recently, but I'm sure they're out there. But once in a while, they'll have something come up where somebody will tell you, well, we have this conference call coming up. we've got this big deal that's coming, something with the Iraqi dinar. That was one thing that I remember people talking about when we had the last war in Iraq. Oh, yeah, when we rebuild, the Iraqi dinar, you can buy it super cheap right now, and then it's going to skyrocket. We're going to make all this money. We got a conference call going on where the big guys behind it are going to explain it. Okay, if you Joe Schmo off the street, you're not an accredited investor. You don't have $1 million. You're not a millionaire. You don't have at least a couple $100,000 or $250,000 a year that you're making. Your net worth is not over $1 million. You're not accredited. You're not going to get in on a deal like that. If somebody is offering you something like that and they are offering it to everybody, like somebody's got $100 to invest, hey, come get on this conference call, that's a big red flag. That's total BS. Do not do it, because any deal that good, number one, the big money guys, the really smart money, they're already there. They know about it way before anybody else. And if they're offering it to the guy off the street, then it's a complete scam. Stay away from stuff like that. If they're like the returns that we talked about earlier, if they're promising you, hey, you're going to double your money in 30 days, that's a scam. Or they're doing something extremely risky. I tell people, look, if they're talking about returns like that, you might find one where you could do that, or you might get that kind of return once or twice. Of course, you only need it once. That's what everybody says. But you got a better chance. If you get 10 of them, you got a better chance of losing all of your money on all 10 of them than you do of making that 10,000% return on any of them. So those are two big red flags that stand out to me.
Yeah, and with limited time left, you have a few more you want to share, or a couple of more.
Yeah, excuse me. What was another one I was thinking of just a little bit ago? Really, a lot of it comes to...
I was going to say, or maybe it's more helpful to say, how do you check to make sure it isn't a scam as well? You could add that to our conversation.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, one, if you're not familiar with that, I would definitely reach out to me. Go to chriskidd.com, or if you're on like Instagram or something, at financialcoachkid. But reach out to me, or if you got somebody like me that you can reach out to, I would start there, because you're gonna have to learn questions to ask and stuff. But one, I mean, it's a big obvious deal. If it's a huge return that just sounds astronomical in a short period of time, don't try to swing for the fences. It's like get rich for sure, don't get rich quick, because get rich quick usually means I'm going to lose all my money. I'm not going to get rich. But find stuff that will get you rich for sure. Good, decent returns. I mean, it's not, stuff in the teens is not ridiculous, especially on a lot of real estate deals. I teach people how to trade options and how to do it safely and not be stupid with it. And a lot of option seminars will teach, trading options, but most people, what they do, they just go buy and sell, or they go buy one side or the other, and they bet on a particular move, and that's the easiest way to lose all your money. That's basically gambling. And if you stay around a casino long enough, which I was actually proud of myself. I was in Vegas last week for an entire week, and I didn't lose money. So I didn't really play this time, but if you hang around the casino long enough, they're going to get your money. I mean, even if you're up. So don't gamble, but look into
casinos are nice
the
places.
Deal too.
Casinos are generally nice places that gamblers are paying for. So,
yeah,
why don't you give your final thoughts as you wrap it up?
How did this place get built so fast and paid for this fast? I mean, it's not off of them giving money away.
Final thoughts, Chris Kidd?
Final thoughts. Just be careful with your money. Don't trust just everything that people are saying. evaluate who's bringing you the deal. I mean, is this somebody who really knows their stuff, or is this, just another Joe Schmo that, hey, I stumbled upon this deal and this is the next, this is the next gold mine? That's probably not going to be the case if it's somebody like, I mean, no offense to anybody, but dude, if you were that good at finding amazing investment deals, wouldn't you already be rich? And why is this guy that has like $200 in the bank bringing me this deal that's going to make us $50 million? Evaluate the people bringing it, evaluate the people that are behind it, evaluate what the deal is backed up by, whether it's some sort of currency, whether it's a real estate deal, whether it's a stock deal, whether whatever it is. We don't have really time to go into it, but you got to evaluate the numbers, make sure it's not a ridiculous type return in a very short period of time. And I mean, for more help, absolutely, I'd be happy to help people with that. Reach out to me. Go to chriskidd.com. You can contact me there. That's really the best advice is in this short interview that we got. The best advice is get some more advice if you have questions on stuff like this. Talk to me or somebody else that might be able to help clear some of it up.
Very good. I really appreciate this conversation. Very timely. By the way, he mentioned KIDD, K-I-D-D, not K-I-D. Just keep that in mind. chriskidd.com. Check him out on social media. And always love having you on, Chris. You always show us why you are the money man. So thanks for being with us. I'm Kevin Price. Stay tuned for more.